Hey, Cameron, I see you just joined. That's great. It's working. I got an email from somebody else that was a different Google Hangout. It gets confusing when you have too many accounts. Hi, Joshua. So we have a couple of live broadcasts this week, which is going to be fun. So I'm waiting for those people to join in. And when they get here, we will begin officially because we have a couple minutes left to wait. Hi, Alan. How are you? So lots of people are joining in. It's great. Hi, Liz. And so if you could mute your microphone while we're waiting for everybody to set up, that's great. And then we will have our 2 presentations by our guest, which is great. And if you have any questions, you can type it in the chat message if you want. In the chat message, I see who's in the list. So hi, Dong. So I saw your message earlier. And again, welcome. It's really great to have you guys here. It's week 3. I can't believe how quickly the semesters, these summer sessions go. So we will have a couple guest presentations by fellow students on their discussion topics. Hi, Ching. And so if you could mute your microphone until, unless you want to talk. Hi, Alan. We're going to let them get set up. So it's not quite yet 5, so we're going to wait a few minutes. But hope everybody's, if you're in Tucson, you're staying out of the heat. I don't know if you guys who are afar have heard that it's like so hot that the planes can't fly out of Phoenix. So you're lucky if you're away somewhere. Here it's been pretty hot. So it's kind of nice having an online class so that you don't have to go outside in the heat and park your car, which I think is one of the worst things about it. So if you guys want to get a glass of water or anything, we have a couple minutes before we're going to officially start. So hi, Colleen. We've got quite a few people here, so this is really great. So thanks again for joining the live broadcast. It makes it a lot more fun when to get to sort of have you in the same space, the virtual space. So remember, just mute your mics while you're waiting, unless you want to speak or something. And we're going to start with Liz, and then we'll have Alan give his presentation. So still not quite yet 5, so we just have 1 minute. So I hope everybody's enjoying the videos and the movies. I read a lot of the movie reviews, so that was really fun to hear your input. Some people really didn't like the movie they chose, and other people really were inspired by the person they chose. So if you get a chance, if you have downtime, you can always watch the other videos and see what you think. I tried to do a sort of different assortment of videos so that there would be something that would appeal to everybody. And then the BBC series is continuing, which is great. I really like those. Hi, Josh. So yeah, so here we are. Everybody's logging in, and I'm going to make sure that we have everybody here. And we are going to turn the presentation over to our first presenter. So, okay, it's 5 o'clock. So I'm going to say welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to the live broadcast this week. If you're watching this later, please watch through the whole thing and enjoy. So those of you that are here, if you have questions after the presentations, you certainly can ask them, and I'll go over a couple of business items about the class. In fact, I think I'll start with that first off. So just want to share with you a couple of things from the reading to think about. So let me do this. See if this works. Okay, so in your reading, I just thought there were some nice examples of different kinds of mind mapping. So when you're doing the readings in the book, you'll notice this diagram, which I thought was really interesting. It's kind of old though, so I thought what was more interesting an example of that type of information that people are learning today is you can look at some really interesting information by Google Chrome. They have something called the Music Lab, and I thought that was a really interesting example of an interactive sort of design piece, so you can think about it. You guys won't be able to hear, but this is the Chrome Music Lab. I said Google, but it's the Chrome Music Lab, and it's very interactive, and if you try it yourself, you'll see that you can press different things and it's going to make different sounds. So it's a really interesting site where they talk about experiments with technology, and this is specific to music, so I encourage you guys to check that out when you get a chance, and I'll post that on the internet. But I thought some of the examples in the book are a little bit older, and so this was a really good one where it shows sort of how information today is changed up in that way. So that was one of the things I wanted to mention. And then let me just get my screen ready so that I can show it to you. So that was in chapter 3, and these are also, I want to show you these things so it gives you a way, or just to mention a couple of things so that when you're preparing for the quiz that you have a little bit of information. So that was that example. This particular chapter also goes over Gestalt, which it only talks about the 4 closure, similarity, proximity, and continuity in terms of Gestalt, but there's other types of Gestalt phenomenon as well. So I think it's a really interesting science of seeing and understanding visually. So I just wanted to mention that. So for this week, some of the things you might want to think about when you're watching the videos, you're watching the Eames video, so you might want to take some notes about what kind of people they were, what kind of examples of work did they do, and I mentioned before the semiotics, Gestalt. It also talks about legibility and readability. So legibility being sort of the design of the typeface, and we've looked at a lot of different examples of that. Whereas readability is more like how easy something is to read as words, as sentences. So those you might want to pay attention to in the reading. And then you're watching the BBC series, and then some of the things you might want to think about. It talks about the war and how war affects design in terms of how design changes in war times versus peace times. Also in the reading, it talks about modernism and vernacular, which is pretty interesting. And so you might want to think about sort of the shifts that in the 80s where people started thinking about vernacular design, such as signage that you probably see all around. So I think there's really good examples of vernacular typefaces and messages out there. So, you know, I just thought those might mention those things to you before we start with your student presentations. So let's go back to the presentations then. So yeah, we're going to spend the rest of the class on your colleagues' presentations. And if you have questions, you're welcome to turn on your mic and ask them at the end, or if you type them in the chat room, I think you guys all see those as well. So we're going to go back to that. So let's see. And okay, so I am going to turn over the stage to Liz. Are you there, Liz? You were there. There you are. So I'm going to turn off my mic as well so that I'm not disturbing you. So are you ready, Liz?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Go for it.
Okay, so hi, I'm Liz. And let me share my screen with you guys. I am doing my presentation on human-centered design. So let's go to presentation. Okay, so I hope you guys can all see that. And then I'm gonna make it, oops.
You're good, we can all see it. Thanks.
Okay, cool, thank you. Okay, cool, so I'm just gonna start from here. It's not playing. There we go. Okay, so human-centered design is the need and capabilities and behaviors first of design to cater to people. When I was first reading this first chapter in our book, I was thinking, what isn't human design, human-centered design? Because it seems to be almost everything you come across was built like with human in thought. So human-centered design, like I said, is needing capabilities, behavior, and it's tailored to the needs of like people and individual like things. Even though it's a very broad topic, it covers lots of different things. It was made to tailor to humans. So this is something that I thought was kind of interesting. It's an example of a design that was made for humans for a specific reason. When you get your bench wet from rain or whatever else happens to it, you can just roll it to the dry side. I thought that was kind of a cool little idea. So started with people and ended in innovative solutions. This has been around forever throughout history, that people are centering their designs to apply to human life. There are a couple different, like thousands of examples of it, but one reason that people do this is to extend their knowledge and education throughout the world. I think an example of an invention that bettered knowledge is the printing press. The printing press was developed in 1440 in Mainz, Germany by Johannes Gutenberg. It was invented because there was an issue involving the idea that getting a book and printing a book was way too expensive. So lower class people weren't able to have access to education and to information until he invented this faster way and cheaper way to produce something. Something that he didn't really realize. I think he knew that this was going to come out of it, but it expanded so far past his initial idea. And that's kind of something else with human-centered design, is that it starts in something small, but it can just expand to this massive thing. And in this case, it just it gave way to the Enlightenment, and it gave way to education in the future, and just everything that's come after that for writing and printing. This is just like, yeah.
Hey, Liz, oh, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm just wondering, I don't know if it's just me, but I haven't seen your slides advanced. I'm still on the title slide. So maybe you could just manually, if you could click to the, I can see the printing press slide there. Yeah, maybe you just have to click through them. Because I see that now. But I don't know what was happening before, but I see it now.
Did you see the other ones?
No.
Okay.
No, if you want to quickly scroll through them, that would be great.
They weren't super exciting. Let's see. So this is just explaining human-centered. This was the rolling bench.
Okay.
Probably didn't make sense when I said it.
Oh, yeah. Now that makes sense.
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
You roll it on the side.
Yeah.
This is what the printing press looked like. That first one, this is just a little info on the printing press. Okay, I'll fix that now. So this is the evolution of the printing press. It just kind of shows like where it went. I thought it was kind of interesting to see the evolution of a human-centered design. It started super basically. It was very hard to make and slow, and as it evolved for like what we needed, and now it's obviously huge and fast and crazy. So as technology advances, the challenges that come along with it is when like making a design that tailors the technology that's advancing. So one of the quotes from the book is, it says that people are frustrated with everyday things. And that just means that we're advancing too fast for our abilities to like follow with innovative design. So the cycle of updating is just kind of like just going so quickly that it's hard for everyone to keep up. So good design, this is from The Design of Everyday Things. Good design starts with an understanding of psychology and technology. Good design requires good communication, especially from machine to person, indicating that the actions are possible, what's happening. So pretty much that just means that a good design is going to take you from one thing to another without like not explaining it, or without, if there's a mess up, it explains itself, or in some way you're able to fix it and move on. An example of a good design that's evolved and moved on from mistakes, or just from not really working super as fast as we would like it to, is GPS. GPS started in the late 1950s with low Earth grazing satellites. Then it was originally used for military purposes, and then as GPS grew and became this advanced thing, it became in everyday homes and in everyday life. And from our perspective, I know that at least since I've had it on my phone, it's grown so much from things that people like send in and say they don't like. So when iPhones came out with maps, and a lot of the times it would take you on like really bad routes and stuff, and they're updating that, and that's the communication from your machine to the person that updates your devices. And that's how they made the GPS on your cell phone a human-centered invention. So the importance of failure when it comes to human-centered designs is super important, because according to the design of everyday things, it's like all based on personal observation. So if something isn't perfect the first time around, which it really is not likely to be, they keep trying and trying again, and then it tailors the individual person or the group of people who need this specific design. The New York Times did an article. They published an article on the 50 worst inventions ever, and I thought it was kind of important to view or just to look at this, because not all inventions are going to work as planned, or designs are going to work as planned. And these inventions, at least in this article, all failed for a number of different reasons, but some of them were poor designing, or some of them were just bad marketing, didn't have a real place in the market. And one that stood out to me as something that was just a terrible design, not really great for anyone, was tanning beds. Tanning beds came into popularity in the 70s when there was a boom for wanting to get super tan. So their solution was to put you under a bed of light bulbs that's going to blast your skin to darkness, and then everything would be great. But unfortunately, what they found out about it is that at least the American Academy of Dermatology says that tanning beds before the age of 35 increase your risk of melanoma by 59%, which is like a horrible, I don't know how anyone would even get in a tanning bed these days. But that's an example of like a bad invention that didn't really go as planned, and then the community wasn't strong enough around it to cancel out the bad parts of it, but somehow it keeps going. So tanning beds are definitely not considered a good design or a good invention as a solution to a problem. So that's pretty much what I have today. There's a really interesting TED Talk on human-centered design, and I think it's really interesting. I can add a link to it, but it's too long to show today, so I'll just post that on the group. And that's what I had for my presentation.
Great. That was really good. Thank you. I really liked how you pulled your own personal observations into your presentation by showing those examples. I think the tanning bed's a really great one. And you really pulled from a lot of different sources for your presentation. So it wasn't just one author. It looks like you did a lot of research on that. So I really appreciate the time you took to put this together for us. Human-centered design is a really interesting topic, and please do post that TED Talk. I think everyone can benefit from watching that. So anyways, does anybody have any questions? If you guys want to, I think if you just start speaking and your mic will unmute, you could ask a question, or if you have a comment or you could chat a question or comment in the group chat dialog box. Can you see that, Liz, the group chat window thing?
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to type in some kind of message, any kind of message, that would be great. Observation or question about Liz's presentation. So usually in art classes, I'll like just stand here and be silent till somebody says something. So, so you guys have to I'm gonna probably pick on Jacob because I keep picking out on him because I know him. If he's there, he could type something.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, or say something. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I have this little nifty thing on my headphone set that I can flip a switch to go unmute and mute. So
Oh, good. Yeah.
anyway. Yeah, Liz, thank you very much for your presentation. Human-centered design is really catering to the needs of what the human needs are. And yeah, starting with Gutenberg, I just started to have a flood of thoughts and of information, and then thinking about all the moments that happened preceding it, and how we all got thrown into this vision of mass production, and it's all just moving by so quickly. And I feel like, especially now, just like in our contemporary moments, design innovation is still happening, and there's a lot of good and bad design out there.
Yeah.
and tanning bads are definitely one of them. And but yeah, it just makes me think about kind of what is really needed to cater to human needs now. But
I think
yeah,
that's that's a really good point, Jacob, because you can think of all of these things that we get that sometimes are really cool, but they're not really needed, but they're cool. And so we've created these technical things, but the purpose isn't quite yet there. So it's really an interesting time where design and function are trying to merge to something that's truly useful. By the way, I just got an announcement that Notebowl just got bought by another company called Canvas, so it's probably going to morph into something else as
already.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have used Canvas or not, but evidently it's like D2L or Blackboard. It's just a much larger company. And Notebowl was designed by U of A alumni, so the people who are running it are actually alumni, which is pretty cool. So kind of excited about it, but maybe a little nervous because maybe it will change too much and not be as friendly. But hopefully it'll be a good change for them. So any other questions or comments? Okay, we're going to just move on then. And thank you very much, Liz. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm gonna mute you. Okay. All right. So Alan, I'm gonna put the stage to you. So are you ready, Alan? If Alan's here, Keeve is gonna go next.
Oh, hi.
Whoops. Who's there?
Is it me, Natalie?
Oh, hey, Natalie. Where are you? Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Yep. Okay.
Oh wait, am I up next or?
You're on right now. I'm just trying. I don't see. Oh, there you are. Okay. Yes, you are on. Yes.
Okay, I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm in Louisiana right now, and we're having a bit of a tropical storm, so I think my Wi-Fi kind of going a little crazy because I know it was super delayed. So just let me know if it's really if you can't hear or understand me.
It's when you come up closer to the computer, we can hear you. I can hear you just fine. If something happens, we can always postpone. So is it raining there?
Okay. Oh, it's lagging.
It's lagging.
Oh man. Let's see. I'll try to share my screen. Let's see. How do I share my screen? That's the only.
Okay. So to share your screen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it? Where did you go? I lost Natalie. Okay. Natalie accidentally unlogged herself out. So we'll give her a couple seconds. Is there a lag on me as well? Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, so we'll see if Natalie jumps back in a second. She should, unless they're having power outages or anything. I guess they're having a big storm there. So, Alan, are you ready to go? We'll give her a couple of minutes, but if you're ready. I'm not sure. Okay. So, yes, no, I can't hear you, Alan. Can anybody hear Alan, or is it just me? Oh, I can't hear you because I've muted your mic. Hold on. Now I think I can hear you now. Oh, Natalie, you're back. Okay. All right.
Hi. Okay, sorry. It just stopped. It just disconnected. I'm afraid,
okay.
I don't know if it'll happen while.
Yeah, she's cutting out.
Okay.
Hello?
Natalie, you there?
Hey, yes, I'm here.
Okay. So we're going to let you go one more time. And if you do get cut out, just come back in when you can.
Yeah, I did.
But maybe we'll postpone you till next week if you cut out one more time. And we'll go ahead and let Alan go. But we'll give it a try.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
So
to share your screen.
And then okay, screen share. Here we go. Oh,
there you go.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. Ugh. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it's being so slow. Man, okay. It's coming slowly but surely. I'm sorry, y'all.
No worries, Natalie. We'll hang in here and just see how it goes. So just while it's loading, the Adobe Spark, if it has audio, we won't be able to hear it.
Just
Yay.
give it a second. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Okay, can everyone see and hear?
Yep.
This good? Okay, awesome. So I did the formative and illustrative roles for design, and actually, I was actually really interested. I picked this topic before I actually really knew what it was about. But after reading it and, kind of digging a little bit deeper, it actually really paralleled and went really nicely with the movie that I had to watch for our first project. I watched the To Inform and Delight, which was the film about Milton Glaser. And he actually had a lot of great things to say about this as well. So I'll kind of reference him as I go through. But this whole concept was first defined by design historian Penny Spark.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh no! Oh no! Oh, this is sad. All right. I'm not sure if we should give her one more try or just wait till the storm is over and she can get a better Wi-Fi connection and she can do it next week, which is what I'm thinking. But we'll give her a second to see if she comes back in. I know they're supposed to be having a tropical storm or hurricane, so I don't think we can really hold it against her for this technical difficulty because you can't really control Mother Nature. But I'm excited to hear her presentation. So it's almost like you're watching a TV show and all of a sudden, the end. Excuse me. So I'm gonna wait 1 second, see if she comes back. And then we're just gonna jump over to Alan and Natalie's probably upset, which is terrible. So do you guys have any other questions while we're waiting just a second? That maybe we just might wait till she comes back in and then we can have Alan start without her coming in the middle of it, even though I told her that's what was going to happen. So where are you? Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really get to her. I'm going to just type her a quick email here. All right. Okay. I'm going to put the presentation mode over to you, Alan. Are you ready? Alan, you there? Just give him a second. What? Oops. He just accidentally left too. We're having a technical dilemma here today. So, okay. Alan came back. Alan, we see you. Do you want?
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Now, yes, I can totally hear you.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. I'm gonna share my screen.
And I've presented you to everybody, so everybody should see your icon of Snapchat. If somebody
cool. Sorry, that was for work.
Oh yeah.
A while back, I was doing an internship for a social media company. Okay. Yeah, and this is we were talking through Hangouts and all that. So
yeah.
Cool.
So Natalie's back to what? Natalie was. I think she's back. She's back and she left. Anyways,
can you see? Okay.
So there you go. Perfect. It was perfect.
Okay.
No. Okay, there you go.
All right, guys. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. All right. So my name is Alan. I'll be talking about ergonomics and just a little bit about the history of ergonomics before I tell you what it is. So this man here, he is Wojciech Jastrzębski, and he coined the term ergonomics back in 1857. I think his name is Polish, but the original word ergonomics is actually Greek, and it comes from the word ergo, meaning work and labor, and nomos, meaning natural law. So put them together, ergonomos, which is ergonomics. So yeah, so what is ergonomics? Ergonomics is the study and design of the most healthy ways to work, and what kind of work? Well, the things you perform, like in daily labor or like in your environment, the tools you use, and these are all the words that are be associated with ergonomics. So design, safety, the human factor, of course. So for ergonomics, it's important for everything to be appropriately designed for the human body so that it works as natural and as least resistant as possible. So everything is within reach. Nothing is too out of range. You don't have to jerk or move in a specific way for you to accomplish a certain task, in a sense. So these are examples of ergonomics in everyday life. This text shouldn't be here, but anyways. So top left, we have the most basic of a car here, your normal standard car. You know, you got your regular bells and whistles, a few buttons on the wheel there, but nothing too crazy. Bottom left, you have a little bit more bells and whistles. You get more advanced here with the screen. We get more buttons, probably get Bluetooth pairing. And if you notice, all of these things are designed to be exactly where your hands would normally fall into place. So you're grabbing the steering wheel there at about 3 and 9, and you're resting your thumbs on it. So that's where your fingers are going to be, and that's where they put those buttons, so they can change the music, make phone calls however you want to. And then on the bottom right is the most advanced cockpit I could probably find that wouldn't scare everybody, which is a Ferrari. And this kind of car is kind of interesting just because of the way it is. I have no idea what some of these buttons do, but I'm pretty sure they're put there for a reason. But anyhow, let's continue. So I'm going to be talking about a little bit about your workplace ergonomics, which can extend from your office to school desk, and even being in the library, essentially. It's a little bit of humor there. So how many of you guys have seen people that are sitting at the library like this? It's destroying their backs right here. How many of you guys have a workplace that looks cluttered and just disastrous here? All right. So many of us would like to have a desk like this, nice, clean, everything within reach, but sometimes it's not the reality. So with this here, like how ergonomics plays into play here is, so you have the chair that's adjustable with the height up and down. You have the armrest. The back of the seat is curved to the curvature of the spine to allow a more natural feel. Everything in the desk is within arm's reach. Nothing is too out of reach, and you wouldn't have to overextend for anything on the desk itself. So here's a picture of the office space. Again, the desk space is very convenient for the user. Another thing about ergonomics is also light. It's important not to have multiple lights shining at a certain time. So if you have a light, your desktop light, you have the overhead light, you have the light coming from, I don't know, the hallway and the back way. So all these different lights are causing strains on your eyes, and it's just too much. So it's better just to have one solid light that's overhead, that's illuminating all of your workspace. So this is a person on a chair, displaying a very well ergonomically postured person, I guess. So if you guys, can you guys see my mouse by any chance?
Yep.
Can you see this? Can you move it around?
Yep.
All right. So your eyes should be about just about the top of the screen for your desktop. Arms 90 degrees, legs about 90 degrees as best as you can. If you can't adjust your seat, you can put something down at the bottom here to lift your legs. It's important to sit all the way to the back of your seat to allow your lumbar support. And next slide. So this is another picture. Oops, sorry. This is another picture, but instead of the desktop, here is a laptop, which a lot of us, you know, have. So if you're sitting on a couch and you can't find a comfortable spot, this can give you a nice little segue so that you can, you know, create your own postures and create your own ergonomically friendly environments. I actually tried a few of these things myself, and it helps a lot. You're able to sit there and relax a lot better. So in this example, they use like the pillow on the lower back to support your lumbar again. I use a pillow to elevate the laptop. You see how the laptop is slightly curved here? That's another thing so that your eyes can be adjusted to the height here. All right. So as far as things that are within reach, there's actually lengths that determine this. So at this point, about 50 centimeters, that would be you overextending, and it would cause strain on your shoulder, your neck, your back. It just causes you to move in an unfamiliar way from where you are sitting there. So these would be your parameters. Anything that's within that nice usual workspace is very ergonomically friendly. A little bit further out of that, you know, it's occasional, it's fine, but you know, beyond would just be not working, and you should probably readjust the desk. So in the library, I found that we have some desks or tabletops that you can actually lift up so you can stand up. And I thought it'd be nice for me to find a diagram to show you guys a little bit about this. So the same thing applies from when you're sitting to when you're standing, except for your legs are straight. Your arms still need to be at a good 90 degrees, you know, resting on this flat surface here. I still need to be at about height level of the screen. And it's very important to stand nice and straight and not have any kind of slouches. And I'll explain why later. So how heavy is your head? I found this very interesting. Oh, you can't see this, but anyways. When you're standing straight up, or maybe even about 1 inch or so you're about normal posture. Head weighs normal 12 pounds, but as soon as you start, you know, moving your head forward, you start increasing the weight of your head, and this could lead to more upper back problems. So it causes a lot of strain right in this area right here. And this is what causes a lot of people to have, like, you know, really, really tough backs and all that. Because it also puts strain on the muscle around it. All right. So then how does this apply for everything else besides sitting down? So texting. So when you guys are walking around texting and, you know, staring at your phones, the more degrees you have in your head, the heavier it is, the more strain you're putting on your neck, your upper back, your spine, your muscles. And it's just a very unnatural posture to be in, essentially, for the human body. So when we're standing at our desktops and, you know, we're working, we want to make sure we have good balanced posture. Like this one right here, we don't want to have any poor postures because of the weight of the head can really cause a lot of strain here. And if your head's forward, but you have some weird sway back here, you end up putting a lot of stress in the front of the groin here, and you're just very unproportional.
Thanks, Jeff.
Oops. I should have another slide here. I'm not sure what happened. So this is kind of blurry. Just to give you guys an example of ergonomics of a vehicle, I didn't want to go into it because when I started doing my research, it got really complicated. So cars go uphill, downhill. They go at slanted areas and all sorts of stuff, and suspension plays a role with it. But this is essentially how the ergonomics of a vehicle works at every single given angle in the car. So you can see how complex it is, but the design is very simple and beautiful. Oh, and I have a video to show you guys really quick. Show you guys a little bit about the workplace.
Yeah. Is there audio in the video, Alan?
Yeah. Can you hear
I don't know if we'll be able to hear it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's just music. It's just music.
I hear something, but I don't think that's it. But that's a cool video.
Yeah, there actually is like words.
Well, you could post this on the bulletin.
Yeah.
So people could watch it as well with audio, which would be nice.
Okay.
Later.
I'm gonna exit it out and just.
Yeah, you can just do it later.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I would just post it on the bulletin, you know, that I post stuff, and then people can see it.
Yeah. Oh, that's my word.
All right.
All right. Copy this. Go here. How do I end screen share? How do I do that?
I think I can do that for you.
I think I just did it. I don't know if I did it.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Hey, so thanks, Alan. That was great. I feel like I learned a lot that will help me personally. So
yeah, no, I honestly did myself when I was sitting there at home doing the presentation. I started fixing my couch, and I'm telling you, it helps a lot. It feels so good.
So I have a question from John Heng. Do we have the live presentation? I'm not sure what do you mean by that question. The live presentations will all be posted so that you guys can go back and watch it, if that's what you mean, John. But if you didn't say that you were going to present your presentation live, then I watch it, and I think I kind of wouldn't mind presenting. Yeah, you send the PowerPoint to me. So there's a place on that Google document where you just cut and paste your presentation URL there. Xing, I was wondering if you minded if I shared your presentation on Notebook, but I haven't heard back from her. But yeah, so I'll see them, and I'm trying to think of a way that everybody else can see them, which would be nice. So I'm kind of working on that in the background. But I don't have anything else to talk about today. John, you're going to post your PowerPoint presentation that you're not presenting live to me, and I can talk to you about that offline. But does anybody else have any other questions for today? We will, hopefully Natalie can present next week, which would be great. And other than that, I want to thank you guys for being here. You do get extra points, which is great for being here, but I also just appreciate you being here and being involved in the class. Yeah, the date that you present is on that Google topic discussion page, the date. So each week you have the opportunity to present, and like if there are technical problems like there were today, we can postpone it to the following week unless you're the last week, and then we won't have that opportunity. So hopefully that's clear. So yeah, on the Google document it shows your presentation dates. So, and they're only on the Wednesdays. So June 28th is next week. I know Jacob's going to be presenting live that week, and Natalie. And then July 5th is the next week. So those would be the days that you would be presenting your presentation. And unfortunately, then our class is over, so we wouldn't have any other opportunities after that. So any other questions for today? Thank you again so much for being here, and enjoy the videos this week on the Eames, which are a really interesting design couple that were very influential, and the BBC video series, which I think is great. So I hope you guys are enjoying those. And thanks again for being here and being in the class. It's great getting to know you guys. John, I'll have to talk to you about it offline. I'm not sure why, but that doesn't make sense. It's probably a typo on my part. You just get 1 point for being at the broadcast, and I probably just accidentally had a negative there. So that's my mistake. So I'll fix that. It's a kind of a thing. It's actually an example of bad design. In the grade sheet, they always have like a little line, and then you enter the number. And so I must not have accidentally highlighted the little line, so then it turned into a negative. We should tell those Notebowl guys they can improve their design by getting rid of that little line. It's just supposed to signify that it's empty, but then if you put a number in it, then it makes a negative number, which isn't right. So I'll fix that, John. Thanks.
Yeah, and Karen.
Kind of silly. Uh-huh.
I just want to ask, overall, how did you feel everyone did for the assignment 1 or project 1?
I thought they were really
in
good.
general.
In general, people wrote a 1-page paper. They're sort of in thoughts about it. Some people included a mind map, which I thought was really good. Just maybe when they were watching the movie, they were doodling and they made the mind map that was just as an illustration in that topic. Some people really didn't like their topic of their, I think I might have said this in the beginning before you had logged on. Some people didn't like their movie, which I was surprised that they didn't just go to another one and pick another one that they might have been more personally engaged with. But I tried to put a variety of movies in there, both from fine art, design, more technical design. And so, like I said, some people didn't like them. And then some people were really inspired by their person. I think people really responded well to Saul Bass's topic. And but in terms of the writing, people had really good thoughts about how they enjoyed the movies. So that was great. So I enjoy seeing the visuals too. I think there might have been one person that copied a couple of frames from the movie and included it, which was nice to see. So that was good. And I really did appreciate the mind maps because not everybody does those. I almost start almost everything with one of those as a way of getting my brain to start thinking non-linearly and trying to sort of make connections between different things, which I think is interesting. So I like that. So anyways, great. So everybody have a good week this week, and email me whenever. I've gotten a lot of emails from people. I had about 5 people come to the office hours, which was great. And I also met with a couple of other people sort of on office hours using Google Chat. So if you need feedback anytime during the week, just contact me and we'll arrange a time to meet. If you have any questions or want to run ideas by me, like if you're not sure if you're on the right direction or if you want some suggestions, I'm happy to chat with you guys during the week. So yeah, so have a great week and I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. And stay out of the heat, everybody. Okay, thanks so much. And thank you guys for presenting, Natalie and Alan and Liz. It was great having you guys do that. And Natalie, I'm sorry you had some technical difficulties. Next week, hopefully they won't be there. Okay, thanks.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Alan.